It has been very quiet in Washington since we heard almost 2 hours ago that the meeting at the White House between the president and the House and Senate leadership had been postponed. It was scheduled for 3 o'clock, reportedly due to more progress being made among the Senate leaders. But we've heard nothing since then.
Eerily quiet.
Yeah, well, that could be a good thing, right?
Yes, Senator John Barrasso is a Republican from Wyoming, and we are pleased that he joins us now.
Welcome back, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Kelly.
So, Senator, the outlines of a deal, as our own John Harwood indicates, it's coming together. It would include a higher funding level for the government in return for long-term entitlement reform. It would include, and that would fund the government through January, raising the debt ceiling through February, the medical device tax not addressed here, and potentially Obamacare income verification. Do those 4 pillars sound like something that you will support?
We're going to have a leadership meeting within the hour to go over the specific details, Kelly. But the bottom line is we need to stop the shutdown. We need to get the government up and running again, and we need to get America back to work.
Let me ask you more procedurally then. You just alluded to this meeting you got coming up. What's the timeline? What are you guys hearing about when this gets to the White House, or if at all?
We're going to have a meeting of our entire Republican conference at 5:45 this afternoon. I assume the Democrats will do that as well. And if it is something that's acceptable to both groups, then take it to the floor of the Senate, move it through, and then to the House. The House is coming back, and we'll be meeting tomorrow. But everyone's going to want to see the details of this. I think people are united in that we need to get the government up and running. The fundamental sticking point of all of this is the spending. We have a nation, and specifically a president, who is the spender in chief. And we need to get the spending under control. That's what the markets are concerned about, the raising of the debt ceiling, which, of course, adds to our $17 trillion debt. And your previous guests have talked about downgrading of our credit rating. It wasn't because of a raising of the debt ceiling. It's because we still do not have a credible long-term plan to deal with our nation's spending.
Let me just put a little finer point on the scheduling here. Is your meeting still on at 5:45, and does that only occur after they've taken the plan to the White House? I'm just trying to get a feel for the timeline for this afternoon and the into the evening here.
Well, we have a vote on the Senate floor at 5:30 on a judge. So it doesn't really relate to this, but all of the members will be there on the Senate floor at 5:30. So that's a good time for people to get to hear what is in the plan, what has been agreed to, and then each of the members decide if this is something that they can support before it goes the next step.
Senator, once you come to an agreement in the Senate and then this bill moves to the House, there are some indications perhaps that your colleagues in the House would want to amend the deal. Do they have time to amend the deal, or do you think it's imperative that they vote exactly up or down on whatever bill you send them, because we simply don't have time?
Well, the thing that I think is imperative is that we get the government open, get people back to work, and deal with the long-term problems of spending in this country. On Saturday, we had a vote where Harry Reid and the president wanted us to raise the debt ceiling by $1 million a minute for the next 14 months. That's $1 trillion. We can, as a nation, not continue with that kind of spending abuse and still be a strong and credible nation when we have to continue borrowing money from others.
Essentially, as we understand it, as Kelly was outlining there, what's being discussed among the Senate leaders right now essentially is a timing issue. When we will get to the spending, raising the debt ceiling, when we will get to a continuing resolution, when to decide all of the things that need to be decided. Forgive me, but why can't that be decided now? Why do we have to wait another 3 months before some key decisions on spending can be made?
No, I would like to decide it today. We will see what is actually proposed when all of the members get a chance to see what's in the agreement. The bottom line is we have a spending problem in this country, and we cannot continue to put this kind of debt on the backs of our children and our grandchildren at a time when they're worried about jobs, careers, opportunities for the next generation. We cannot continue to spend, and when the president tells us, as he did on Friday, that he thinks that raising the debt ceiling shouldn't be a toll booth where a president has to stop and pay a toll. Raising the debt ceiling is the time when you actually have to focus on making responsible decisions. When someone wants a new credit card with this kind of money, you just can't give it give it out without concessions on spending.
We got to let you go, but look, Obamacare, I haven't heard you mention it. Obviously, the rollout plagued by glitches, and glitches probably understates the degree of the problem. What specifically do you or don't you support on Obamacare now as part of this bigger deal, or is this now an issue that's off to one side?
As I told the president Friday at the White House, the president ought to delay for a year the individual mandate. He has given a delay for the employer mandate. He should treat Americans fairly and delay for a year the individual mandate. It is completely unfair to demand people buy a government product when those going on the exchange know it's a lot more than just a glitch. The president called it a problem with the cash register. Actually, it's a complete systems error. He promised you could keep your doctor. That's not true. He said cheaper than your monthly cell phone bill. That's not true. He said easier than shopping on Amazon.com. Again, not true.
Senator Barrasso, always good to see you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Kelly.
You bet.
Thank you, sir.
John Barrasso of Wyoming joining us today.